We're here to protect you and the ones that you love. It's a good feeling to know that our efforts aren't going unnoticed.
It actually brought tears to my eyes to know that we have this support.
You're welcome. I must just say, you're welcome. It's stressful, but we're not going anywhere.
Welcome to another edition of Bucknell Men's Cross Country Through the Decades. Tonight we have the decade of the 2010s, the most recent Bucknell men's alumni from the cross country program. And we've got a great group joining Coach Kevin Donner and one of our current student athletes, Brendan O'Toole. Brendan is a junior on the team from Lansdale, Pennsylvania. We thank him for taking the time out to be on the session tonight. I want to thank Geisinger as our sponsor for tonight's event. Geisinger has done a great job throughout the pandemic. And as always, they do a great job with our student athletes day in and day out here at Bucknell. So thank you to Geisinger. My name is Todd Newcomb, and I'm going to introduce our guest, and then I'm going to turn it over to Coach Donner. So let's get right to it. Our first guest from the class of 2012 is Dave Brown. Dave was a four-year letter winner, and he was an All-Patriot League second-team selection in 2011. Our next guest from the class of 2015 is John Dugan. John was also a four-year letter winner. He was All-Patriot League second-team selection in 2011 and 2014, and a first-team selection in 2012. He was Academic All-Patriot League in 2014. In outdoor track, he was an All-Patriot League second-team selection in 2013, a USATF Junior Nationals qualifier in the steeplechase in 2012. Our next guest, also from the class of 2015, is Andrew Garcia Garrison. He was a four-year letter winner and an All-Patriot League first-team selection in 2014. In outdoor track, he was an All-Patriot League second-team selection in 2014 and a first-team member in 2015. He was part of the Patriot League champion 4x800 relay in 2015. He was an All-East selection in 2014 with a first place in the 1,500-meter run. At the NCAA Regionals, he qualified for that in 2015, also in the 1,500 meters. In indoor track, he was a five-time Patriot League champion and the Patriot League track athlete of the meet in the 2015 championships. He was a two-time All-Patriot League first-team selection and a second-team choice once. He was All-East in 2015 after a first-place finish in the 1,000-meter run. Andrew won the Bradley N. Tufts Award at the department's senior awards dinner. Our next guest from the class of 2015 as well is Michael Mcgowan. Michael was a four-year letter winner. He was All-Patriot League first team in 2013 and 2014. He was an academic All-Patriot League selection in 2014. And in outdoor track, he was All-East in 2013 with a fourth-place finish in the 10K. And our final guest from the class of 2018 is Will Bordash. He was also a four-year letter winner. He was All-Patriot League second team in 2016 and a first-team honoree in 2017. In outdoor track, he was All-East in 2017 with a fourth-place finish as part of the 4x800 relay. Coach, it's a great group. I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. First of all, guys, it's great seeing everybody. And I really appreciate you coming out for the Zoom call, and this will be a lot of fun. The first place we're going to start here is tell us what you've been doing since graduation. As far as jobs, family, things like that. We'll start with Mr. John Dugan there. You're on mute, John.
I'll start. But thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting us to this discussion, too. So I currently work in research and development at a company called Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, which is located in Tarrytown, New York, which is where I live as well. I work in the neuroscience group there, and I'm involved in a series of research projects geared towards the treatment of neurodegenerative diseases and also enhancing therapeutic delivery to the brain and spinal cord. My family lives nearby, which is nice. I get to see them a lot, and my brother also ran collegiate cross country at Bloomsburg down the road, so just a few miles near home, and it's kind of it.
All right, Dave. Tell us what you've been doing.
I mean,
you're
how long has it been?
You're the old guy of this group.
Yeah, I know. Ripe old age of 31. I can't believe it. So right now I live in Northwest DC with my girlfriend Anna and our 3-year-old dog Marvel. So I actually do most of my running now with the dog, so that's a bit of a change from my years across Bucknell. Recently, I just helped my parents move out of my childhood home, which is kind of fun, a little bittersweet. And I work for Bazooka Construction as a construction technologist, and basically my job is helping to find and implement new technologies to help us build buildings a little bit faster and easier, and make our employees happier with the tools they have at their disposal.
Great, great. And Andrew, what have you been doing?
Yeah, so I moved back to the D coach, so back in Detroit, Michigan. I've been here for I don't know, about 6 years now. I work with Quicken Loans downtown Detroit. I'm a director of mortgage banking with them, so I have a team of about 11, 12 bankers that I work with day in and day out. I became a director this past February, so everything's a little bit new to me, but I've been with Quicken Loans for over 5 years now, so just enjoying that. Family's good. Just bought a house, actually, just closed 2 weeks ago, right outside of Detroit in Royal Oak, Michigan. So just trying to get the house together and everything like that. And unfortunately, I did not wear any Bucknell stuff. I tried to put it on, and I can no longer fit into any of it. So that's where we're at with running. So that's good.
That's because you're weightlifting, right? Is that what it is?
That's it. Yeah, it's bulking season right now. Getting ready for the weather.
Bodybuilding.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
it.
Good, good. Michael, tell us what you've been doing.
Yeah, so after school, I've had a few jobs in finance, but really haven't found anything that I've liked yet. But actually, recently, I've been going through the recruiting process with the Army. So I'm actually going to be picking my role in the next day or two. So so I'm not really sure on the timetable of when I'm going to be going out to basic training and whatnot, but it could be soon or it could be in a couple of months, but I'm thinking it's going to be sooner rather than later. So I'm excited for that. Family-wise, I'm back in the Philadelphia area right now, so I get to see a lot of my family, which is good, and also a lot of the Bucknell alumni that are around. I've just been doing a lot of working out and running lately, actually, so it's been good to get back to those basics.
That's great. That's exciting news, Michael, to hear about the armed forces there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get that going.
Good, good. And I see Will over there. Will, tell us what you've been doing the last couple of years.
Yeah, so it hasn't been as long as most of these guys, but only 2 years out. So currently I'm in Morristown, New Jersey with my girlfriend, Emma. Previously was in New York City, but since graduating, I've been with this company called Viva Systems. So I'm a consultant on their CDMS team. Pretty much it's a cloud-based solution to help enable and develop clinical trials.
Great, great. All right, we're gonna go take you way back now, take you back to the beginning, and we're gonna ask you to tell us about your recruiting experience and how you ultimately chose Bucknell. And we'll go back to the start with John there.
Sure. So coming out of high school, I was fortunate to have a great experience running both cross country and track. Had a great group of teammates and coach, and we had some success in my senior year as a team, and individually I was able to improve year by year as well. So I was fortunate to be able to start looking at a number of schools to potentially run in college. And given that experience, finding a good fit where I could join a competitive team, one that was close and invested as a unit, and that could potentially compete for team championships was something that was definitely appealing. So when I visited Bucknell, I was really impressed with the success of the track team in particular. And Coach Donner spoke to me about, the way that the recent group in the cross country team had been developing and really moving towards, improving the team standing and competing for Patriot League championships. So, it felt like a great running fit. We discussed some training, and I was excited to hear what Coach had to say in terms of opportunities to really kind of contribute early on, and also that's a great academic fit at Bucknell too, that provided a lot of opportunities for various subjects that I was interested in the time and interested in learning about further, so I could determine what I wanted to do after graduating. So it kind of came together, and I decided in the fall of my senior year, and was excited to make the choice.
Beautiful. Dave?
Yeah, so I initially heard about Bucknell pretty early out of my life. A lot of my family had gone there, so it was kind of a very strong suggestion that I attend since I was the last grandchild, that there was some hope. So after we toured and got in touch with Coach Donner about making a visit, I actually visited during dry season and had a really great time playing board games and all kinds of other stuff that was really nice. Yeah, I visited a couple of other programs. None of the team cultures really resonated with me, but I kind of felt right at home when I was on my recruiting visit. And actually, on that visit, met my future roommate, teammate, and eventual co-captain Dan Dillon. So that was kind of cool to have that extra long history with him.
Great. Michael, how'd you end up here?
Yeah, so when I was looking at schools, one of the big thing was academics. So that's where Bucknell really came in. I wanted to go to a school that was academically strong. And then also, like, I was really not that highly recruited coming out of high school. I was kind of a late bloomer. And I had visited some other schools like Lehigh and Lafayette, and they just were really not that interested in me. And Coach Donner gave me Coach Donner was interested and I think really saw the potential that I had. And not only that, but also just spending the night here with the team. I really felt like it was a great fit. All the guys were really awesome. And I just thought the culture was great. And then additionally, just like John was saying too, the success of the track team is something that really which really got me to want to come here, because they were competing with teams like Army and Navy. And that was something I thought was very impressive.
Yeah, if I remember, Michael, I think you were a true late bloomer, because if I remember, I don't think I offered the slot right away.
Yeah.
You ran a good district meet. Does that sound?
Yeah, it was right after District 1's when you offered me the slot.
Yeah, because
I didn't break 5 minutes in the mile until my junior year.
Yeah. I wasn't that impressed. And then when you ran the district, I'm like, oh my God, I better get this guy. So I offered the slot. So late bloomers, I love those. Love those guys.
I thought you only did that for me, Coach. I guess not.
I depend on late bloomers there, Dave. So, Will?
Yeah, so
I know your story.
Yeah, so well, Bucknell was kind of on my map from about middle of high school. I played soccer most of my high school career in the fall. I mostly ran just indoor and outdoor track. But my track coach ran at Penn, and so he kind of listed out a bunch of schools probably my sophomore or junior year when I wanted to get serious with it. So I did go back and forth with coach pretty early on my junior year. Really, I don't think he was all that interested until end of junior year for myself, and pretty much single-handedly convinced me to run cross country my senior year of high school. So went along with that, started touring with schools, and my mom will recall this story. Even before the officials and unofficials, we drove out to Bucknell, about 4 hours from Connecticut. And I don't think I was on campus for more than 45 minutes before I said that I was good. And she didn't really know what she meant by that or what I meant by that. I didn't really know what I meant by that either. But I didn't know if it was like I knew that it was enough. I saw enough, and I was good to go, or if it was just a long car and I wanted to get home. But yeah, as the recruiting process continued, our rapport developed, and the official visit, as Mike said, really kind of sold it.
Great. And lastly, Mr. Garcia Garrison, and we obviously know that story, but why don't you tell us about it there, Andrew?
Yeah, probably one of the more unique stories. So obviously I'm from Detroit, the Midwest, where we have never heard of Bucknell unless it has to deal with the NCAA basketball team. So I remember in high school, Coach Magny came up to me and was like, hey, you need to check out Bucknell. Coach wants to talk to you. And I said, what is that? Where is it? And little did I know, Coach Donner went to the same high school as me, Catholic Central High School in Michigan. He also was coached by Coach Magny as well. So we've had the
Still
same
there.
coach as well in high
Still
school,
there.
and who's still there, which is freaking phenomenal. I said, yeah, definitely. Let me give it a shot. And I mean, same with DoorDash. I mean, as soon as I know we drove like the 7 or 8 hours, my parents made a little road trip out of it. And I mean, as soon as I hopped on campus, it was like, this is where I want to be. I met the grade right below me. I think it was, like Tyler, Balaban, David, and it was just, it just clicked instantly. It was like right away, this was the place I want to be. So best decision I've ever made. Thanks for going to Catholic Central, Coach. Appreciate you.
Hey, all right, cool. Good decision there. All right, let's let our student athlete Brendan ask the next question. Brendan is a junior on the team, and he's been a varsity top 7 guy both years, and he's done a great job. And he ran a really nice 5K the other day. We did a little 5K time trial, and he set a nice PR for him, like a 15:06 or something like that, which is great considering we haven't raced since when? February, Brendan, your last race?
It's been a while, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So anyway, why don't you go ahead and ask some questions here.
All right, so first I just want to say thank you guys for coming out. It's nice to see you guys. And then I was going to ask, what advice would you give me or any other runner that's in this program today about the college cross-country experience at Bucknell?
Why don't you pick a
guy? Dugan, do you have anything to say?
Sure, yeah. And nice to meet you, Brendan. So I think, obviously when you're at a university, there's a lot of opportunities in the ways you can spend your time, how invested you're going to be in the various things you're committed to. Obviously your academics is a top priority, and being a part of the team is a huge commitment as well. But I think one of the things that stood out to me is it's kind of a rare opportunity, the position that you and your teammates are in to be able to set goals together and spend the amount of time together that you do, and really work as a unit to try to achieve a shared purpose. And a lot of that carries through postgraduate as well, but it is a unique circumstance and situation where you get to go through training months after months, day after day together, and then enjoy supporting each other and all that comes with it. So I think while the commitment is a lot to be asked, you won't regret putting in all the effort that you can to achieve the maximum amount that you're able to. And in our experience, I think we had a really great coaching staff at Bucknell. And one thing I always appreciated was that for a lot of us here on the call, we ended up overlapping, I think, for different stretches in our tenure together. And I think we all had pretty different training styles, and the amount of running we were doing, the amount of cross training we were doing. But finding what works for you and working with the coaching staff, giving feedback in both directions for what you're finding successful is really a great way to optimize the way that you're training and optimize your performance as well. And ultimately, even if there's some differences amongst the team and how you're going about that, it'll suit you best at the end of the season when it counts the most.
So I guess we can just go down the line. Will, looks like you're next.
Yeah. Kind of echoing what John said, you're spending the majority of your days with your teammates. So it's really important to really understand each other and develop that good bond. For me, I think some of the best memories were outside of running because you guys were so familiar with each other, spending the summers together or living together, which is a tone set by the coaching staff, from day one. So I think it's definitely the friendship and just enjoying all the moments, even outside of running, because it is a strenuous environment, and it is something that's on your mind daily, and you want to exceed and perform at a high level. So it's good to de-stress and definitely enjoy the times outside of running as well.
I can jump in. I feel like Dugan was kind of throwing some shade my way anyway when he was saying different training methods and how far people run or how fast they run. But I mean, the advice I would have in that sense is just take your easy days easy and don't worry about making your training log look pretty. Really just listen to your body. You have some of the best facilities and the best staff to keep you healthy. So definitely take advantage of that, but don't think that that's a pass to just run yourself into the ground. just use it as an opportunity to try some new things and, form some new habits and maybe stop some old habits. You're going to meet a ton of really diverse people, both in the staff and the people on your team. So it's a nice opportunity to learn from people and how they might do things differently than yourself. And then kind of echoing what you were saying, Will, is that, it's really nice to actually interact with people outside the team, and if possible, potentially bridge that gap. A lot of my friends from my freshman hall ended up kind of intersecting with the team, and it was kind of cool to see those two groups come together.
I guess I can jump in. Kind of echoing kind of what everyone's been saying, but I definitely agree with all the advice that they've been giving. And something that I would say is that when I was there, I definitely kind of overtrained a lot. Like I was very ambitious, so I wanted to run a lot of miles. I wanted to be in the weight room, and sometimes less is more. And so that would just be like the simple advice that I would say is just trust your body and how you're feeling. And don't just try not to overdo it, because you only have 4 years there, and you don't want to be you want to be on the field. You don't want to be on the bench. So.
And then I'll step in real quick. I mean, apart from like just the running aspect of everything, I mean, biggest thing is just have fun with it, right? I think we can all agree. I mean, it's insane that we're on this call right now talking about like 2010's, like we've been out of school for like 30 years, right? But still, I mean, again, like I said, I've been working with Quicken Loans for like 5 years, right? But I remember running with Bordash, I remember running with Brown, Michael, Dugan, and it's just like those little things. So yeah, I remember the races and everything like that, but it's more the people that were around is what you really remember the entire time. And that's where all the fun is. So, you can have a great race, but if you don't have a team behind you, like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it might matter to you a little bit, but not the team, right? So those good people behind you, enjoy the experiences, because it's going to go by fast. And you're going to be on this call in 6 years with 2020 class, and we're going to be like, dang, that was fast. So just keep it up and enjoy the times. That's it.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'm going to fire random questions at different people here because we have a few more here. Will, tell us about your most memorable experience as part of the program.
Oh, man. I think there's two that really stick out. One is my freshman Patriot League meet, because that is just a culmination of excellence for a lot of the guys here. Going 2-3 and John getting an all Patriot League recognition as well, coming back from a lot of injuries and just showing an insane amount of resilience, and getting second as a team. And then my junior year at regionals, getting 6th place at regionals. And that was,
that was a good one.
That was, and both of those, yes, are just highlighted by great team performances, but I think it was, as we were discussing, just the team chemistry and everyone showing up to play at the same time, was just an incredible experience to be a part of.
Right. And John, what was your most memorable experience?
I'm kind of gonna pull a few together, but I really, similar to what Will said, I think the league meets in general are something that really stood out. I think, it's not really the case for necessarily every team in our conference. There's great competition, but I think the enthusiasm and kind of cohesiveness that our team showed for these specific meets, the start of our postseason championship and what we would set as our primary goal each season, really did stand out in every season. In cross country in particular, where we would potentially, at least when I was there, did not host the meet. We were always traveling at that part of the year. We had a ton of our teammates travel, even as far up to Colgate, where we, did not have an easy trip for them all to make, but we had their support the entire way through. And that was always a consistent thing. And then especially on the track as well, whether we were hosting or away, there was a ton of people from the team that would make the trip, and their families and some friends as well to come support us. And in cross country, I think we had some really unique and some great ones. Our first year for Andrew, Michael, and I, and Dave's senior year, we ran at the Lehigh University cross country course, and we hit a pretty big snowstorm, and it was kind of shocking because the day before we had great weather, went out for a pre-meet on a nice day, and then we had to kind of wake up and get out there and run through inches of snow for 5 miles, which was tough, but it was a really great performance for the team. And I remember Dave and I finished really close together coming in the final stretch there. And it kind of culminated, a lot of improvement for the team throughout the season. And same thing for, as Will said, our senior year was a culmination of a lot of hard work to finish second as a team, which was our highest finish in a while. And it was a little bittersweet in a way because we had set out to win a championship, and we kind of finishing second came close to that, but it still meant a lot for everyone to show up and deliver after really years of hard work, and both for the guys there and preceding us. So I think overall those meets in general really stand out as the most memorable for me.
All right, thanks. Andrew, what was your most memorable experience? I think I know what it is, but go ahead.
There's definitely a few of them for sure. Right off the bat, I got to go to Patriot League senior year outdoor. Michael and I going 2-3, right? That was absolutely insane. Dugan right up there too. That was just a sweet experience. I remember us catching up to Mahal ski, and Michael looked over at me as we were going up that last hill before kind of the straightaway and going around the soccer field. He was like, "We got this." And, this is something that's going to stick in my mind forever because that was awesome. But then apart from that, I think I got to go with the 4x8 indoor Patriot League senior year, where I outlaned Clyde at in indoor. We were behind that entire race, and then that last little kick at the end. I think that was one of the coolest comebacks we've had as a 4x8 team. I don't think anything's going to top that. We don't even have to talk about the mile. Everyone knows how I feel about my mile. So we're good. We don't have to talk about it.
The picture with the look back.
0.5 seconds. 0.5 seconds. We don't have to talk about 0.5 seconds.
No, but that picture of you looking back across the line too.
That's the picture. Looking at Clyde behind that was fun. That was a fun meet, and just like Dugan said, we had the best cheering sections. Those are the things you'll never forget right there. It's just our cheering sections were absolutely insane. So much fun.
Well, you'd be happy to know that to this day, that 4x800 is still the Patriot League record. And
there we go.
Since then, we've run a couple meets at Boston University, which, as you know, is the fastest track in the world. And
I think it's Disneyland, actually, Disneyland.
No team has beaten our record yet from that Navy meet. So
there we go.
Go at one of those, I think 16 and 15 we were at Boston U. I figured somebody would break it, but they didn't. And we still have that record. So I think that's pretty cool. Michael, most memorable experience?
Yeah, so I kind of have two meets that really stick out in my mind as that I thought as a team we really ran well at. The first one I'll say is, we talked about it already, but Patriot League's our senior year. That's a race I'm never going to forget. Just running stride for stride with Andrew the whole way. And, I was able to outkick him there, which was, I was because, he's got 4-minute mile speed. And I know that both our times are actually still some of the top performances at that meet in history, I think. So that definitely stands out. And the other one was our junior year with Dugan and Boots. And we beat Penn State at I think it was Harry Grove's Spiked Invitational. And I just thought that was we had a great team effort there, and I was really proud of our team.
And Dave?
I could maybe say one about outdoor leagues my sophomore year, the first year we won, but then I would have to talk about how I probably have the lowest ratio of meters run and points scored. So my entire career, I probably ran 3 10Ks, a couple 5Ks, and got 1 point to my name. And then Rob outleaned a guy at the very end, and it didn't count for anything. So that's not my most memorable, but I would say probably the most one is just all the summers I spent at Bucknell. It's not necessarily related to one meet in particular, but just kind of hunkering down, focusing on the miles, and just cooking meals with a bunch of guys was just really nice. It was a nice change of pace, and you know, given where I'm at now in my career in life, there's really, you know, it's really hard to do that type of thing. You know, just for three months, just shut down, run, cook meals, and hang out with friends. So that was definitely a really great experience.
And while you're still there, who was the teammate you admired the most throughout your career and why, Dave?
So I kind of thought about that, and I don't know if I could put, you know, just one. You know, obviously I admire everybody on the team that, you know, kind of came in every day and gave it their all. But the one that stuck into my mind was all the members of the inaugural Stucco Running Club. You know, you had to kind of make some roster management decisions that year, and we had that kind of B squad, and you know, it would have been really easy for them to get discouraged and just kind of walk away, but they ended up having a ton of fun with it, to the point where, you know, sometimes I was kind of jealous with some of the swag that they got. And you know, even now I think there's probably hundreds of alumni out there between not only men's cross country but men's track and field and women's cross country and track and field that now all sport that blue and orange swag. So I would say I probably admire those guys the most.
I see that jersey everywhere.
I should have worn it, but you know, I figured sleeves would be more appropriate for this session.
Michael, the teammate you most admired.
Okay, so actually this one's a twofer, and because I really can't, I would say it has to be John Dugan and Andrew Garcia Garrison. Both of them. Just I mean, we were all training partners pretty much for 4 years, and we had some killer workouts. And you know, I think that we all kind of had a little bit of a different skill set, but I think that it really helped push us all to be great.
And Will, who's a teammate you admired the most?
Yeah, I got an easy one. It's probably three of these guys right here. I mean,
yeah,
coming in as a freshman.
You're a freshman. They're all seniors, weren't they?
Yeah, with the trio like that, I mean, it's hard not to look up to that trio. So they're all different in their own ways, but I tried to take as much as I can from each of them, and you know, hopefully it set me up for, you know, the 3 years when they all left and stayed in communication and all of that. But yeah, I mean, that freshman year was definitely something pretty special for me, at least to sit back and watch when I was injured or not running or not racing, and just watch them do their thing in big time meets, or, you know, run alongside them and train. So yeah.
John?
Yeah, I think as others have said, there's a lot of people to choose from, and especially on, you know, spanning multiple years here from Dave to Will, generations in both directions. There's a lot of good options, but I'll mix it up a little bit, and I'll say two that I really admired in my time at Bucknell and afterwards too are Eric Balaban and Dave Strauss, both class of 2014. And for me, I was studying biology and interested in the sciences, and both Dave and Eric were on the pre-med track, and we took some of the same courses together in biology and chemistry. So in terms of the academic side, I you know, certainly use their advice a lot in terms of finding, you know, opportunities for research on campus, and you know, the right professors to talk to, and selecting courses, and studying together too. It was a lot of time spent on that front. But also, you know, they were two of the hardest workers on the team, I think, as well. Like Dave said, they were a couple of the guys that were there with him in the summertime, where you know, they had a group that was living together, you know, for months, and getting out the door super early before it was hot, putting in the miles every day. And then through the fall, you know, some of the first guys in and last guys out of the field house before and after practice. So, you know, I always, you know, appreciated how they helped kind of welcome me into the team, and all of us, really, Michael and Andrew as well, for our class. And along with Dave and the guys who were, you know, senior to us when we came in, really brought us into the program, and kind of, you know, showed us how they were, you know, getting it done in terms of the work ethic and all the things that went into the improvement we were all able to make.
Well, they're both doctors now, huh?
They are, yes, both doctors. Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Brendan, why don't you go ahead with your next question?
All right, so I guess we can just go in the same order, but my question would be, what advice do you have about networking and finding the right job after Bucknell?
Is that me or Dave? Original
Yeah, I was
order?
going to say.
Sorry, we can start with you, John.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And honestly, it's something where I think that, having the ability to, speak to coaches, alumni, some of the older guys in the team really helps, because I think at the time it's not always easy to grasp all the opportunities you have on campus to help set yourself up for, time after Bucknell. So something that was really beneficial to me was, as I kind of alluded to before, finding professors that I could talk to, and there's really an abundance of them. I was, fortunate to really have some great teachers, and a few in particular were able to offer some on-campus research opportunities, like Dr. Benowitz Fredericks in the biology department. So, that's something that's, I think, specific to what I ended up studying, and I ended up going to grad school at Penn State after Bucknell. So getting in some research experience and the proper coursework was really crucial to that. But, the Career Development Center, and then also just the network of both the alumnus and alumni from the men's and women's team is really a valuable, source of communication, where you can reach out to people in a wide range of fields and a wide range of regions, and, learn from them, learn from their experiences and different perspectives. And then also, hear what they're doing, and whether they might know about internships or, entry-level job positions that could be a fit for you. So I would just say, kind of be open to trying to learn from, all the different people, both peers and alumni and coaches that you'll encounter, because there's a lot of different perspectives, and then eventually, fields that people will go into as well for their careers that are really, really valuable during the time when you're actually on campus.
So I think, kind of from my looking back on my career, I would say don't feel like you have to get, the perfect job right out of college. Kind of use it as an experiment. In my career, I pretty much just found out along the way what I didn't like, and I kept making changes until, I pretty much landed in the job I have now, where, it doesn't really feel like work, coming in. I know that's kind of a cliche, yes, things are frustrating, but I get a lot of satisfaction from that. And I wouldn't have changed anything about, the path that I took. And after your first job, don't really get too hung up on, your GPA or any other, things from Bucknell. I see Donner laughing there. I'm sure that he probably still uses me as some examples about, like, hey, you can still be successful even if you take the C.
I got this guy named Dave Brown that has a great job.
Yep. And, to this day, I am not sad or anything about, finishing, I think I managed to get a 3.00 is the final average. I think, I don't know what class I took to get me up over that limit, but no, I wouldn't have changed a thing. I had great time there. Engineering was tough. I definitely underestimated how difficult it would be, but yeah, just don't feel like you have to get it right first time.
I think you're next, Michael.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just like Dave's saying, don't feel like you got to get it right the first time. I know that I haven't. But one thing that I would definitely say is that definitely in this age of social media and whatnot, just try not to compare yourself so much to all your peers, because it's really easy to do that. And I would say that when you're looking for a job or a career, really focus on what you love to do instead of possibly chasing titles, names, badges, and salaries. I think that finding something that you love to do is what's going to set you up best to succeed in the future. And in terms of networking, just like John was saying, I think that the alumni from the team, from the men's and women's team, would love to hear from current athletes, and would love to take out time to help you out like any way that you could. And all you need to do is just reach out. I know that I always love to hear from anyone on the team. So yeah, that's the advice that I'd give.
I can go. Am I the last one? I think. All right, maybe. Oh no, I think DoorDash still has to go. But I think the biggest advice is, like, don't rush into anything. You know what I mean? I know, like, it's always nice to be maybe that, like, college grad that has their job lined up, 3 months before graduation, right? That's what I was. But then ultimately the job I got right out of college, I wasn't happy with. So switched it, moved back to Detroit when I was in Chicago, and started working for Quicken Loans. And just say yes, like, see what's out there. You really don't know what you're going to like until you're actually in the role and actually trying it. And even though, hey, maybe it's not for you and you quit, that's not a failure, right? There's always something else out there. There's something that you're probably going to enjoy. When I started with Quicken Loans, I originally applied for a financial analyst position. I didn't have any type of background or anything like that, obviously just graduating college. So they said, hey, do you want to be a mortgage banker? And I was like, sure. Obviously, first thing is you never want to, is that what you're thinking? Like, hey, I want to be a mortgage banker. I went to college to be a mortgage banker. Turned out I liked it. I was pretty good at it. And now I'm a director at Quicken Loans, right? And it's just because I said yes and accepted that opportunity. So no matter what you do, just, hey, enjoy it. And as long as you enjoy it, again, it's never work, right? Just have fun doing something, but never rush into anything. Biggest thing.
Yeah, I think adding on to that as well, what John was saying, the CDC is definitely a helpful tool if you know how to use it. I think they have a running list or a database at least of companies that alumni work for. LinkedIn also has a really great feature. If you are interested in specific companies, they will say, N amount of alumni or N amount of people who graduated from Bucknell work at this company. So definitely don't be afraid to reach out to those people. Even if you don't know them, just shoot them, a LinkedIn in-mail or anything like that. I've probably done 3 or 4 calls over the past 6 months of undergraduates, either just saw my name as a consultant and wanted to learn more about that, or were interested directly in applying to the company or wanted to learn more about the industry area. Even just like a 30-minute call, as Dave was saying as well, finding out what you like and what you don't like is a really important thing. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid to reach out, even if you don't know them, they're not part of the team, or anything like that. I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice. People love talking about themselves and love talking to other people and definitely helping out, fellow Bucknellians.
Just don't try to sell me a mortgage.
If you want to come to Quicken Loans, I'll get you in as a referral. I got you.
So one thing I want to add to that, Brendan, is, technology is moving so fast nowadays that the job you have 10 years from now, there's a good chance that doesn't even exist today. And, but the main thing is, you got to be able to communicate, you got to work hard, and the life skills that you guys learned as being a part of track and field and cross country, let's face it, it's a hard sport. And there's not a lot of glory like you might see in basketball where you get that game-winning shot, or baseball. You don't get lucky in our sport. And, so the perseverance, the hard work, the communication skills you develop, the lifestyle, that all pays off eventually. And I think the life skills you learn in college athletics and specifically distance running really does pay off, and how many times have you been, you had deadlines, or you're like, just tired, and you think about those big workouts you went through, like, hey, if I can get through that, I can do this, So that's my advice. One more question for all you guys before we, call it an evening. All you guys ran for us at Bucknell. This is my 20th year here, and I took over for a guy named Art Goulden, who was here for 31 years. And of course, some of those older generations of the 80s and 70s, they had great things to say about Art Goulden. What a great coach he was. I've had my share of success here. I've had my share of failures here. But with that said, what kind of advice would you give me as the head coach, now that you went through the program, you see what's going on, you know what's going on? What kind of advice would you give me? We'll start with John.
Sure. I think a couple things come to mind. One is that, and maybe this is relevant for this year in particular, where I'm sure you've had to change the structure of the way you normally design the training plans for the fall and preparing for the track seasons, given all the changes and challenges around COVID-19. But I always enjoyed some of the more, I think, unique or even creative workouts that we had. And they're certainly memorable, but I think at certain times of the year, they're also really advantageous to make the best out of challenging situations. So whether that be going, out to Turtle Creek to get in some speed work when the outdoor track isn't necessarily amenable to a workout, or, taking trips on a weekend for longer runs out at RB Winter, or drop-offs on the rail trail so we can, get in a hard effort on softer surfaces, and kind of get used to traveling and spending the, longer stretch of the day together as a team. I think all of those things, certainly make for great memories. Some of our favorite, I think, most enjoyable and sometimes challenging workouts, but also, given the time of year and especially for cross country and indoor track, they really help circumvent some of the things that would make it difficult just to be out and train on the roads or in the indoor facility all the time. And the other, I think, is, I think we talked about a little bit on the call, just the flexibility that I think is always appreciated and something that I think really helped us a lot as a team in our, like Andrew and Michael and I's last year, where we had to juggle some, early season injuries and very different like training volumes for the months leading up to the league meet, and trying to synchronize basically different levels of fitness all for, one cohesive effort. So trying to balance that and the individual needs of the athletes and what everyone is responding to best is certainly something that I think helped us in the past and would certainly serve the team well in the future.
Yeah, we still need to do that stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Brennan knows that. So, Dave.
Well, I guess I can give you maybe two. One for kind of the COVID era, and then one for maybe when we're out of that. I mean, this is a really cool event. Just this through the decades thing. I apologize for not realizing it wasn't a mass email. It didn't go out to like 50 people. It was just a select few. But it's really cool just to, not only catch up with you guys, kind of share our stories, but, after all these years, I don't exactly keep up with these guys every day. So it's nice to hear from them as well. So that, would definitely be something I think the whole team, would definitely benefit, is kind of just seeing, hey, what happens after 4 years of fun here. And then, once the pandemic kind of dies down, I think you do a really good job of finding high quality meets, even if they're far away. You made a lot of trips up to Boston, which for me was really nice because my family was there. So it was an opportunity for them to see me. But it was nice for the alumni in that area to see the team. Even after college, I really appreciated, just living a couple of blocks from the track. And, some of these guys actually stayed with us, during that meet. So I would say, if you could find other opportunities to go and travel to meets that are either in, Philadelphia or New York or Boston, where there's a large alumni presence, that would definitely be really appreciated for them. And it would probably also help out, with, fundraising and whatnot down the road, because it kind of makes the team a little bit more front of mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still do that. I like to find a meet in Pittsburgh, like to find a meet in Boston and, Philly and even Detroit we've been to, so
Mm-hmm.
Alumni Hot Center there.
we try to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Here. It's always cool to get an opportunity to run near your hometown. Michael.
Yeah. One thing I really appreciated about you as a coach is that you were always willing to hear me out and hear out the type of training I might wanted to try out, or you were always able to, I was a big lifter, so you always were able to accept that, like, I'd be doing a lifting workout in the morning and then maybe take off some volume in the afternoon from a workout that I might have, so I don't overdo it. But, I thought that I benefited a lot from having a weightlifting routine and program in general. And that's something that I think that the advice that I would say is I think that a lot of the distance runners would really benefit from doing some weightlifting program. And I feel like we might not have utilized the trainer as much. I think his name is Coach Shrek.
Jerry Shrek.
Yeah. And I mean, I would just go to the gym and do my own workouts, but I think maybe doing like a regulated one with the team, with all the guys would be something that would really benefit them. I think Dugan, didn't you guys have at Penn State, you had a weightlifting program as well?
Yeah, for strength training and injury prevention.
But that's just the only advice I'd give. But other than that, I think you're an awesome coach and a great coach as well.
Thank you, Mike. Will?
Yes. Oh, Will. Okay, go ahead, Will.
We'll go with Will.
Yeah, how about that? Coming in front of you for once, I guess. But yeah, I think the one thing echoing that you just said was, Coach, was that technology is always changing. So embrace the change. I think over summers when I was on the team, we used Google Docs and just had a giant folder to keep tracks of everyone's logs. Now I'm not entirely sure as to what you all are using to track your run. But
Runningtowin.com.
yep, there's the shout out.
I'm actually on it.
I know, and that's what I was just about to say. So the I've heard that you're pretty active, commenting on everyone's workouts and mileage and stuff. So I think that's definitely a big thing, having that level of communication, even when you are separated over the summer, and it just helps having an eye on everyone. So yeah, I think continuing that level of communication and keeping that motivation going, even when everyone may not be together, is definitely pretty important. So yeah, I would say you do a really good job of listening to the people that come forward and want to discuss anything, like Mike was saying. But yeah, if new technology comes out or people want to try out different ideas just to help the team, I think that's definitely good to embrace.
Well, that online log, it kept me going during the pandemic, man. That was tough, not coaching, but I was able to live through that. Brendan knows, like that thing 2 or 3 times a day, and seeing people train what they're doing. And it was a lot of fun. And I don't know if you're aware, but I've started running again, after many years of really doing nothing but a little bit of jogging here and there. But,
how many weeks?
I haven't taken 2 days off in a row since March.
How many weeks straight of 20 plus miles?
21 weeks in a row, 20 plus miles. Now I'm going pretty slow. So I joke with my guys that my 20 miles a week is the equivalent of Brendan running 50. I'm out there a long time. So, but I feel good. I think it makes me a better coach too. I think I'm communicating better with my team just because I'm running every morning, and so I know what they're going through. So
the big test will be when it gets cold out.
Well, I've been doing it since June of 19, so I'm on month 15 right now. Or 16.
Oh, okay.
So I went through a winter, but I'll tell you what, the pandemic is when I really started doing more because there was nothing else to do, so I like being outside. So I started just getting out more. Andrew, give me some advice here.
No, Coach. Honestly, I think you do a great job at knowing what individual people need for themselves. I think that's one of your biggest attributes. I'm sure arguably the best class to ever come through Bucknell, 2015, of course. I know we had a couple issues, whether it was injuries. I know, especially Slim and I, we were a little hard-headed every now and again. Definitely.
Yeah.
But you kept with us. A lot of things I have, the things that I did in track would definitely obviously not be possible because of you. I would just say, push us a little bit more too, if you had to, right? Just keep on going. Again, I think you do a phenomenal job at knowing each individual runner to a T and knowing what they need, what they want, and how far you can push them. And as long as you have that in, I think that's why cross country and track at Bucknell is so successful.
Thank you. So I was waiting for a lot of constructive criticism. I didn't really get it here, but that's all right. We'll let that go. So, all right, Todd.
Yeah. All right, guys. Awesome. So first, before I wrap up, I just want to turn my attention to Brendan and wish you the best of luck as you continue your training and through the end of the semester here. And we're all keeping our fingers crossed that this winter and into the spring, you guys are competing. And if you will be, and we hope you will be, I know the alums will be behind you as they always are. The Spike Shoe family is definitely that. It's a close-knit family, and a lot of these guys alluded to it on this call, and you've seen the kind of support you get at meets and championships, and it's a really special thing. And to the guys that joined tonight, thanks for taking the time again. It's great to see you guys again. I live on Beagle Club Road, So over the course of your careers, you've probably run by my house about 1,000 times, but I don't get a chance much to see you doing that because you're there and you're gone right away. So good to see you on the call. Thanks for everything you did while you were at Bucknell as an undergrad and competing for the Bison. And to Dave's point earlier, thanks for everything you're going to do as an alum of the program. The Spike Shoe family really helps the program get things done. And the student athletes here would not be able to compete the way they do without the support we get from the Spike Shoe alumni. It's top of the line. So again, guys, thank you. And to those of you that tuned in tonight at home to watch, thank you for doing so, and go Bison.